Oh, yeah, boy. All right. What is up, everybody? Hey, I just wanted to come to you live today. Holy fuck, I look tan as hell. Holy shit. That's not bad. I just got the notification, too, that I am live, so I'm happy. Hey, just wanted to give you guys all a quick update. I moved, so that's why I have been offline recently for the past week and a half. Just got the internet all set up. Just got my place kind of sort of set up. And I just had to deal with a whole bunch of other shit. So I'm hoping this is just a test run because obviously tomorrow is Saturday. And I'm going to be live with you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow at 9:30 with John Fitch. Then 11 o'clock, I will be on Dude Party. Please go over to the channel Modern Life Dating. If you haven't already subscribed to him. So I'm hoping that this is running smoothly. I'm also awaiting a desk. So I kind of got this ghetto ass setup going on right now. Normally it would look a little bit more professional, but you know what? Who the fuck cares? That's kind of what it all comes down to. And, I kind of had a message that I wanted to talk about today with you all anyway. So it's something that's been on my mind. Every day to day, I'm looking around and I just see people and I observe their behavior. And, most of the time, I get frustrated. With everyday average people. And you want to know the biggest reason why I get frustrated? I get frustrated when people don't fucking live their life to the highest level. Okay. Now I get it that it can't always happen that way, but I'm kind of prefacing like what I want to talk about. Like one of the greatest lessons that I learned in the military is this. Hands down. This is something that I've been like reflecting on the last couple weeks. Our drill instructors used to fucking like get on us all the time. You see, I'm bringing out the fucking knife hand, dude. They would get on us all the time. They'd be like, move your goddamn body. Move with a goddamn purpose, right? Like that's how they would. And every time you saw a drill instructor move, every single time you saw, even fucking when they were standing, they were fucking standing with a purpose, right? And what does that mean? Like the biggest thing is I don't really give a fuck about the standing part, even though we'll hit on that just a little bit. But the biggest thing is this. I see people every fucking day when I'm walking, when I'm driving, they're fucking aloof. They're just meandering through fucking life. Like, hey, I'm just living and I'm just floating, right? I can tell you guys right now, just from looking at those people, I can pretty much guarantee where they're going in life, and I could pretty much guarantee what their fucking net worth is. I could pretty much guarantee what their status is within their own family, within their own, location or whatever, because these people don't have any fucking energy being channeled through them. They literally have bought into this idea that life is just okay. They're just okay the way they are. And the fact of the matter is they're not. Our society right now is fucking dwindling because of the fact that we do not teach people to move with a purpose. Think about that. No, honestly, I want you guys to sit here and analyze and assess your day-to-day. Your day-to-day. How often are you sitting there and are you just checked out? Or when you're going somewhere, I'm telling you, I should have 100. I should have 1,000 fucking speeding tickets. My fucking day-to-day, I should be getting pulled over, honestly, and I should be paying fucking out the ass for speeding tickets. Now, that's not to say that I'm not moving in an unsafe manner. I'm saying I'm moving at the pace of life that I know I could operate in. And I move that way because I have fucking places to go. I got shit to take care of. Time is my goddamn currency. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to sit here and fucking sit on the sidelines to get shit accomplished. When I drive, I want to get to my destination as fast as fucking possible. Honestly, I'm not looking to sit in traffic. I'm not looking to fuck around. I'm not looking to just sit there and listen to music and fucking zone out. I have a purpose. I'm going from fucking A to fucking B because at B, I got shit to take care of. You know what I'm saying? Even when I'm fucking walking on the streets, When I'm walking, I'm looking at the most efficient avenue for me to fucking walk, where I'm not gonna run into other people, where I'm not gonna be slowed down by other people, and for me to get to the place that I'm going. Like, straight up, that's for me. For some reason, I don't know what it is, whether it's just my personality, whether it's my character, or whether it's been trained or ingrained into me. That's how I want things to be done. I want it to be efficient. I want it to be optimal. I want to fucking go. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not just like, oh, okay, I shouldn't say every single time, right? Because, sometimes I'll be there and I'll be like, all right, hey, we're just going on this trip. And, it doesn't matter how long it takes. And I'll probably be like that for maybe like 2 hours, though, to be honest with you. Because I saw someone joking around about this shit. People are like, they screenshotted the ETA on maps, right? On your fucking phone, Google Maps or whatever, and says, oh yeah, I want to bet, right? Because like that's how I am. When it tells me it's going to take me 26 minutes to get there, I'm there in fucking 21 minutes, right? Because I'm not sitting here fucking playing games like the rest of these jokers, honestly. And, the whole purpose of this channel, what I fucking do, what I want to talk to men about is you need to cultivate this shit in your life too, honestly. Like, if you're not trying to reach your goals, if you're not trying to get there as fast as possible, what are you doing to yourself? And the simplest way for you to do that right now in your life is just by sitting there and thinking, like, what's my purpose? What am I trying to accomplish right now? Because here's the thing, and I talk about this quite a bit on many of the other podcasts that I go on and such. The war is not won just by one big fucking atomic bomb that's just going to drop in your lap and boom, all of a sudden you're fucking there. No, a war is won by the series of small battles, right? The small victories. If you're not looking at these little things as a small victory, then what are you doing? Like, what's your day-to-day practice? What's your day-to-day disposition? Like I said, like these are things, especially as someone who considers himself in a way like a leader from, my time frame in the military, from me owning and operating my own gym to running teams and all this other stuff, working with special operations, doing all this other shit. You start to take into consideration, you're able to start cutting through people's behaviors and start to see the little things that lead to success, to people that you want to be around. And moving with a purpose is a tremendous, I would say, marker of someone who is going to be successful. Now, there's a difference between being a fucking dick and moving with a purpose, too. That's something I have to preface. Like, I was in the gym earlier today, and there was this one dude who was intense, right? So there's a difference between intensity as well. This is something that we're going to talk about. This is the next thing I want to talk about is intensity. There's a difference between being overly intense and just having the right amount of intensity. And this is something else that is really, really missing. So it ties in directly to moving with a purpose, is that, some people be like, Corey, dude, that's fucking intense. Like, you're speeding everywhere you go and all this other shit. Like, no, the way that I do business is I ride that fucking line. I ride that line of where it's too much. I hedge my bet, and I'm riding that fence of where it's like, you know what I mean? Like, okay, you could speed and you could do 95 miles an hour everywhere you go, or I could do fucking 83 miles an hour. I'm still speeding, right? But I'm moving and I'm getting places faster. I'm assessing all the lanes and all this other stuff. I'm not that jackass that's cutting all over the place, but I'm looking to see what's the best trajectory for me and the most optimal. And when it comes time to make a lane change, I do so in, I guess this could be considered intensity, right? Like in an intense manner where it's like, I make the change. There's so many people I see, especially here in California. This is where I live. I'm surrounded by all these people. People be sitting there fucking 10 and 2, right? Driving 55 miles an hour on the freeway. They'll put their signal light on and they will literally wait 30 to 40 seconds before they make their fucking move. It's like, Yo, you are fucking number one, unsafe. You're on a fucking freeway. People are doing 65, 75, 85, 90 miles an hour, and you're doing 55 because you're trying to play it safe. And then you're putting a fucking signal light on for 40 fucking seconds. Like, this is what people do in general. Like, if you really look around, everyone fucking plays it safe. And again, okay, I can't say everyone, but the large majority. These are the fucking sheep, guys. These are the people that in their life, when you look at them, they're living a fucking boring, monotonous, stable, comfortable life. And, you know, honestly, I don't fucking really want to live in a civilization where the majority of people are like that. I want to live in a society where I'm surrounded by people that are fucking go-getters. People that can be responsible to ride those lines like I just told you guys about, right? Now, there are the few people out there. Like I was saying, I was leading to this story where I was in the gym today. Man, what a fucking amazing gym day. First and foremost, I got to tell you, I just switched pre-workouts. You know, the other pre-workout that I was on, I just started taking pre-workout again last month. I hired a personal trainer. He's like, dude, we got a lot of work to do to kind of like rebuild you right now because you got a lot of muscle deficiencies as far as like imbalances. So, you know, when you come in here, I want you to fucking hit it hard. And of course, I'm hitting it early in the morning too. And I'm not a very good like rise and shine workout guy. So I'm like, all right, let's pre-workout it. But I hate those pre-workouts that have like just strictly caffeine where it's just like, brah, you know what I mean? Like you go up, 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 and then you fucking crash. So that was my old pre-workout. I was like, man, I got to find something better. I want a niacin, or not niacin. I want a beta-alanine pump, right? Some good L-arginine, and I want something that's a little bit more like clear-minded rather than just like the fucking gasoline torch. You know what I mean? Even though that shit's cool. So anyway, I just, like, as I'm looking, literally fucking Gorilla Mind Rush comes out with a fucking brand new pre-workout called Gorilla Mind Pump. And I just started taking it like 3 days ago, and it is fucking nuts. Oh my God, dude. It's fucking epic. I take that. So here's my pre-workout. I take that. Then I take L-arginine, like capsules, 1,000 milligrams. And then I take fucking, what's it called? Pine pollen. So this sounds crazy, but pine pollen, you know, it's natural free testosterone. And you want, like, for the gym, you want to get your free testosterone up because that's kind of like that's where you feel it. So I take that. I'm feeling fucking good. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to crush fucking legs and back. Like the two biggest fucking muscles in my body right now. I'm just like, fuck it. I'm going at it. Go in. I'm like, you know what? In order to get that shit primed, I'm going to crush some deadlifts. Go on the stairs stepper for fucking 10 minutes. Get my blood pumping. Go, and I just fucking start crushing deadlifts, right? And I just started going to this new gym too. We're like, it's fucking babe galore. And there's some meatheads there too. So it's pretty dope. But along with the riffraff, along with those people, also comes the fucking riffraff, right? These people that are kind of trying to ride the high of like being around all these other people. But the reality is they're just never going to fucking make it because they have no goddamn intensity in their body and they don't move with a purpose. So I'm fucking killing it today. I'm like a swole beast right now, right? Hit my deadlift. I built up pretty good. I think I did like 145 for 10 for deadlift, 225, 315, no problem, 10 to 12 reps. And then just decided to throw 405 on there and just fucking rip it and pull. No belt, no fucking grips or nothing like that, just raw. 405 for 6. I was like, hell yeah. Then worked my way down and then did some rack pulls. Feeling fucking awesome. Do you find yourself impatient? Yeah, absolutely, 100%. So question here in the chat, do you find yourself impatient around others as well? Now, this is where I'm going with intensity though, okay? Because what ended up happening was, you know, I'm working out, I'm supersetting, and I realize here in this gym, so I'm in San Diego going to like probably the biggest 24-hour they have here in San Diego. It's fucking packed full of fucking hotties. It's packed full of some like pretty good meatheads. I'm one of the biggest dudes there, not to toot my own horn, but there's some good fucking meatheads in there. And then you have your regular run-of-the-mill people that are just kind of like into fitness overall and stuff like that. And then you have all the old people because it's like 10 a.m. and they're just fucking doing their stupid old people workout. You know, like I God bless these people for fucking being into fitness, but you know what I mean? It's the people that are sitting there like doing the most obscure workout on this one machine. Like, for instance, I'm hitting legs and I'm hitting back. So I'm trying to hit some like lat pull downs and then go over to fucking leg extensions and nail my quads. And every single time, yeah, it's fucking awesome. Pine pollen's the shit. I highly, highly recommend people hop up on fucking pine pollen. You see this fucking old guy sitting over there, and he's literally lifting the fucking leg extension machine 2 inches, and he's just pumping it out. He's just sitting there, just like looking at everybody else, just 2 inches, 2 inches, 2 inches, 2 inches, 2 inches, 2 inches, and he's sitting there for fucking 30 goddamn minutes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, get it on Amazon. I was taking lost the name of the company. But I'm taking another brand. Maybe I'll do a little supplement review. Or actually, screw it. I got it. It's right here. Raw Forest Foods. Because I forgot what the other one was. It was Lost Empire. That's what it was. I was taking Lost Empire before. And then I don't know if there's just a bunch of people throwing shade on them or whatnot. But the review started to kind of decrease on it. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to try these guys out. They look good. So here, I'll throw that up there again. So Raw Forest Pine Pollen. The shit's pretty good. I definitely recommend it. So, you know, I'm kind of in my zone and I'm having to deal with that. So these are the things that we kind of have to understand is like, I can't get too pissed off about that, especially these old people that, you know, they're into fitness. They're kind of like moving and doing their thing as old people. But like, could you imagine a society where what if 40 years before that, they had somebody like me and like, I'm going to be honest with you too. I went out and I did, Modern Life John. He had a Hot Dude Con out in Phoenix. So I was out there this last weekend and I was surrounded by a bunch of dudes that fucking are red pilled, that know game, that are into fitness, you know, and are building their fucking wealth. And it was epic being around these dudes. Could you imagine if we had all these men as leaders in society and we shifted society in that mindset where from an early age, where you're dealing with kids from like 13 to 18, where we instill these virtues and values? Hell yeah, Hot Dude Army, baby. What's up? Dude, fucking epic time. And there's going to be a whole lot more of those conferences that we're going to do here pretty soon. So it's going to be fucking dope. Anyway, could you imagine like that 70-year-old dude, had he had that type of leadership and listening to the shit that I'm talking about right now, he's not going to be on that machine being a fucking putz at 70 years old, looking like a fucking decrepit, you know, crypt keeper. You know, he's still going to be in some kind of shape. He's going to hold himself well. He's going to move with a fucking purpose, right? He's going to be on that machine. He's going to be off. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, again, he'd be talking to some people and be like, hey, you want to work in with me? You know, like that's how I do business when I'm in the gym. And I'm one of the biggest fucking dudes there. I'm a pretty intimidating guy. But I'm like, hey, if you want to fucking work in, I'm supersetting, no big deal. But let's move. Let's go. Instead, you have all these fucking derpy derps that are just sitting around and fucking taking up space, taking up fucking oxygen. And they're just fucking moving in the most nonchalant way. And it's like, damn. Anyway, then I bump into someone who's the complete opposite, who's the most intense motherfucker. He's sitting there on a lat row bench, right? Not doing lat rows whatsoever. He's got 4 sets of dumbbells around him and a fucking whatever, a barbell. And he's doing all these fucking weird workouts around it. So I'm not paying any attention to this dude, but I just wipe down my fucking bench and I go to throw out my fucking towel, right? Paper towel that's right, the trash is right behind him. And I guess I walked into his space. And it's stupid because this kid's like 185 maybe. I'm 250, 245, 250. I know how to fucking fight, right? This kid doesn't know that. I'm fucking a swole beast walking around. I'm fucking loaded off of this fucking pre-workout and this shit, dude. Like, I'm telling you, fucking gorilla mind pump. Holy fuck. It's not like, listen, hey, if you want to hear the stories from Hot Dude Con, we're going to be live tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific time on Hot Dude Party, Modern Life Dating, Modern Life John. And we're going to go over everything from what's it called? And I'm going to tell you, like, I think you should show up because there's some pretty fucking awesome stories that happened during that time frame. So, got to meet some cool dudes. I'll just leave that at that because I want you to tune in tomorrow. So, anyway, I didn't realize it, but I guess I walked in this kid's space, which it's not his space. It's the fucking gym. I throw out the towel and I like start walking back. And as I'm doing that, he's like kind of like bowing up to me and like following me around like with his body. And I like turn around and I was like, I looked back and I fucking smiled at him. I was just like, get the fuck out of here, right? Like, dude, no, that's not going to happen. So anyway, I go over to a bench and I start doing some lat pulls. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like this, and this is where I'm going with it. Is like this kid's doing fucking stupid ass workouts. He's getting super pumped up and doing all this other shit. And then the next thing I know, I'm doing some lat pulls on the bench, right? Some single arm lat pulls with some dumbbell. And I look over and I see this kid like kind of fly through the air and fall down. And I look, and that kid that I'm just telling you about right now, he pushed this little fucking Asian kid for walking in his space to throw out a towel to. It's not like he was trying to take it. Dude, he wasn't trying to do anything, right? He was just trying to throw out the fucking paper towel. But this kid, you know, fucking big ego, big pump or whatever, thinking he's the shit, way too intense. Like, way too intense for the situation. And I fucking, like, got spidey senses. I was like, yo, in that moment I realized, because before I was, like, second guessing it. I was like, no, there's no way this kid was, like, trying to bow up to me. Like, that's just stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's dumb. I was like, it kind of, like, went out one ear, like, in one ear and went out the other. But then when I saw that happen, when I saw him push that kid to the floor, I was like, dude, that motherfucker was trying some shit with me. And I was like, in my mind, I was like, man, I want to go fucking, like, you know what I mean? But I didn't. Not my fight, not my problem at that point in time. But there's a difference. So when it comes to intensity, you know, a lot of people in today's world choose not to be intense because they're so scared to be over intense. And this is another reason why I like, you know, Jordan Peterson talks about this a lot. He talks about how men have to play rough so that we're able to kind of find those fine lines of how to interact with one another. You know what I mean? Like, we learn our boundaries of what's acceptable and what's not acceptable by playing rough. And this is why I like martial arts a lot. This is why I like jiu-jitsu specifically too. And, you know, tonight I'm going to be doing Muay Thai as well, where when I'm sparring with someone, you're able to kind of like understand, you know, oh shoot, like even when you go a little bit too hard, like you can kind of tell or you feel like it and you're like, oh shit, my bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, this isn't an ego thing. This is about, you know, kind of learning to do it. But then I know when it does come time for me to actually step it up, when I got to fucking hurt someone, I know what I got to do. You know what I mean? But for 99% of the situations, I don't need to go that intense. But the thing is, and what's wrong with our society today, especially with the fact that there's so many people that damn and like denounce masculinity because they don't want to go to that extreme and they don't want to go through the hardships to learn those boundaries. They would much rather be fucking milquetoast and fucking like weak and just subtle. Like, and that's not like, I can't be that way. I can't be that person. And I guess what I'm trying to teach other guys too is like, you also have to push back against this. And what it comes down to is moving with a purpose. You know, these are alpha characteristics. And I know there's a lot of people out there that are like, oh, fucking alpha male, blah, blah. Like, dude, what's wrong with that? Like, again, this ties exactly into what I'm talking about. There's so many people that are trying to shirk having alpha characteristics because you run into that person that's too scared to want to embody those kinds of characteristics. I know, for instance, like this last weekend, I was out with the dudes and we were running some night game, and it was probably one of the best probably the best weekend of night game I've had in some time. Just because Scottsdale and Phoenix was so packed with fucking babes. And I was surrounded by good dudes too that kind of had my back. And it was just a more open environment. But I know, for instance, like before, when I was here in San Diego, I was trying not to embody those kinds of characteristics because there was so much shame cast on it. But the fact of the matter is, like, deep down, just like women know these characteristics. They'll sit there and they'll tell you straight to your face that they don't like it, but the reality is they do like it. Are you guys feeling me? Like, if you guys understand what I'm saying, throw a 1 in the comments. Because there's so many men that buy into that diatribe, that fucking misnomer, what I want to consider like misinformation or disinformation of, don't be intense. Don't move with a purpose. Don't be that guy who like presents what he's looking for in front of a crowd. Like, that's one of the biggest things that holds people back during night game too, is it's like, oh, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy that is looking like he's the Chad or the alpha who's going to go around and talk to all these girls and, seem like a fucking playboy. But at the same time, like, let me ask you a question. All right. We'll get some more 1s here. We'll do 3s this time. Would you rather go to your grave being considered beta and the person that didn't take risks and didn't get the results? Or would you rather go to your grave being the guy that said, man, I fucking did my best to get to where I'm at? 3 in the comment section for that. If you would rather be the fucking beta, let's go with a 2. If you'd rather be the alpha and look back at your life and be like, dude, I fucking rocked it, let's get a 3. Because I'm telling you, this is where a lot of people are going wrong in the world today, is they're so scared to activate that part of themselves where they're like, you know what? I'm going to move with a purpose. When I walk through that gym, when I walk anywhere now in life, like, my shoulders are pulled back. My chin is up, like not a fucking cocky asshole up like that. You know what I mean? There's a fine balance of being too intense, like I talk about, where you're like, oh, you know what I mean? The ILS type of thing. But, I hold myself at a certain standard. And that was like what was taught to me at boot camp was move with a damn purpose. Like, you can see those characteristics. There's a reason why those drill instructors have the respect. Besides the fact that they can fucking like haze the shit out of you, which is cool. Like, I'm all about people. If you sign up to go to fucking boot camp, you better fucking believe you're getting your ass hazed. Like, that's what you're there for. It's to get broken down. But when you look at those drill instructors, hell yeah, the man spreading thing too. Fuck yeah. Yo, these balls need aeration because they're that motherfucking big. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to take up fucking room because I deserve it. Rick Torres in the house, motherfucker. Hey, it was good hearing from you at Hot Dude Con Phoenix. Thanks for calling in. That was fucking so cool of you. Anyway, there's certain characteristics that you need to embody and that you need to imbue. All right, I got a question here in the chat. Corey Brown says, can you speak to punching above your weight with a red pill lens versus bio-naturals that are higher in ladder theory? Corey, I'm going to take... Thanks, Rick. I appreciate it. I fucking love you too, man. I look forward to seeing you on at a Hot Dude Party tomorrow with MLD. We go live at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard. I believe that's going to be, 2 p.m. over there in New York. Anyway... Corey Brown asks again, can you speak to punching above your weight with a red pill lens versus biological naturals that are higher in ladder theory? So I guess what you're saying here is this. Understanding ladder theory, you have to understand, sexual market value. I agree. It does lower your fucking testosterone. Take up space. I'm reading this book right now, guys. Listen, I know I probably recommend a shit ton of books, but this book has been fucking killer so far. It's called Higher Status by Jason Capital. And this is what everything comes down to, is it comes down to status. You got to believe that you're higher status. And when someone of higher status is in the room, you can tell. That's what I was talking about with the drill instructors, with how they held themselves. You looked at them and you saw confidence. You wanted to be led by these individuals. You wanted to be them because they were a higher status, right? This book talks about all sorts of stuff about how to hold yourself, body position, how to have a high status walk, how to have a high status voice, how to have a high status consciousness too. And those are things that magnetize people towards you. Really, really awesome breakdown. I didn't realize that I did a lot of these things on my own, just kind of like believing in my own power. But reading this book has really solidified a lot of this stuff. Now, going back to Corey Brown's question, punching above your weight with a red pill lens, this is the game. So those naturals, they don't realize that they're playing a game. And it's just like, okay, here's what it comes down to. We red pill dudes, we were born poor. We were born at the bottom and we had to fucking fight nature, right? Sorry, we had to fight nurture. We were naturally raised to be this way. Whereas a lot of these naturals that are already higher in the ladder, it kind of goes into the blue pill alpha type of thing too. These guys have never had to work for it. They don't really understand the marketplace. They kind of do subliminally, subconsciously, but they've never had to work for it. So what it comes down to is a lot of these girls will meet them, and sure, initially they're going to want to fuck them. Absolutely 100%. Because from a genetic standpoint, they're like, ooh, that's great. But the thing is, women don't want to be fucked just physically anymore, especially today. But this is just in general. You got to fuck them mentally, right? You have to seduce them. And that's the difference between red pill bros, right? Red pill dudes. John talks about this all the time. I love the big three that he talks about. Build muscles, build wealth, and build game, right? Get those muscles, get that money, and learn how to fucking play the game, because that's the new alpha. That ladder theory doesn't fucking matter. Sure, she might go out and fuck him, but guess what? Here's the deal. She's not going to be around him long enough, especially if she comes into your frame. If she comes fucking near you, absolutely. Patrice O'Neal says, pimp her mind first. Couldn't disagree with that whatsoever. It's why that dude, how does that dude, fat motherfucker, even though he's got some social cred, like, how did he learn all that stuff though? It took him years and years and years, because he had to get beat up. He had to get beat up through the pipeline to learn this shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's to the point that he ended up getting social cred. I'm sure he was banging a ton of bitches. But in that sense, though, too, look at him. Like, he was missing one of the three. He had the money, he had the game, but he didn't have the physical. And you want to be the type of dude that hits all three of those. So punching above your weight, what it comes down to is these guys are boxers, right? The natural alphas, the natural fucking genetic dude. These dudes are boxers about to enter the octagon. We're the MMA fighters, right? We are a new fusion of fighting that can fucking take out everything else, right? And that's the way you got to look at it. So you gotta be an MMA fighter in this fucking red pill fucking lifestyle, in understanding the sexual marketplace, especially with open hypergamy. I gotta tell you one thing. The reason why I'm tan right now is because I fucking go tanning. I love tanning, especially during the winter months. I fucking hate fucking goddamn daylight savings time. That pisses me off. I hate when it's dark at 5:00. So I go tanning, and I found this one place where, of course, I'm sure if you guys go tanning, dude, all the fucking girls that work there, babes. All fucking babes, and they're fucking all dumb. They're dumb hotties, and I fucking love it. I love it. I love it. I love being around that shit. It fucking fills me up. And of course, I've made friends with these ladies and so forth. And I'm sitting there, and I'm talking to them today, and I tell them, I'm telling these two girls, especially because I actually took one of them out, but she's trying to be difficult. So now I got to like long play it and all this other stuff. But I'm also using them to like get more girls and all this other stuff, and use them for social cred and shit like that. So I'm working this pretty crazy chess match with them. And man, I'm telling you, in talking to these girls, you got to understand that this red pill stuff, they absolutely love it. First and foremost, they love a red pill guy. The thing is, in talking to these girls too, some of them look like burnt steak with eyeballs. Yeah, that's true. In Jersey, not here in California though. I could tell you, I could vouch for that we have all sorts of different flavors here, and it's fucking super nice. But anyway, running all this stuff with these girls now, like just in talking to them and kind of like running my game with them, like it's so crazy how quick they fucking latch on to this shit. They absolutely love it. It's funny because they try to push back too. They try to sit here and be like, oh, I'm not a slut and I'm not doing any of this shit. And it's like, I don't sleep around. It's like, dude, I fucking just saw you on Bumble last week. Like, I know all this shit. Anyway. When it comes to this stuff, and I guess here's how I want to wrap it up, because I got to go take care of some shit. I got to get ready for this date and go into jiu-jitsu and shit. But when it comes to dating as well, guys, so when it comes to dating, I would much rather you guys move with a purpose and be intense than be the fucking schlub that kind of like just sits there on milquetoast. Okay. Now let's wrap that all up because this is game. Honestly, this ties into game perfectly. Fuck. I had a situation. I tell all my girls this story now. It's so funny because these girls, man, they know. It's so funny. It's so funny now because these girls, all the girls that I hook up with and all this stuff, they know the caliber of man I am, and they can just tell by how I run my game on them that this isn't my first rodeo, number one. And number two, that I do this a lot. Like this is how I do business. Let me get to that here in a little bit. I love the question. These girls will ask me afterwards because they know after I fuck them, right, that they have two options, right? They can get all offended and they can get all shy and they can get all upset that they kind of like gave in, and regardless, they had a good time. But, you know, obviously afterwards, sometimes these women are like, oh man, I just fucked a Playboy. I don't know how it's going to be. And they could start to like recluse a little bit and like kind of pull back and be like, oh, that was bad. Or they can accept it and they can be like, fuck it, let's be real and be open with this dude kind of deal, right? So then we'll start talking and they're like, do you do this often or whatever? And I'm like, yeah. I date a lot. Like, absolutely. You can't, they can tell, you know, they could tell by how smooth this whole thing went down and by how I fuck them. So then they're like, oh, like, do you have any crazy stories? Anyway, long story short, you know, most of my fucking dates, whenever I go out, I have it set up where it's close to my place and I can get a quick transition because within an hour, guys, I mean, easily within 10 to 15 minutes, I'm already escalating touch. I'm escalating keno. I'm playing little games in a way to like withdraw my attention and all this other stuff. I'm being seductive. I'm telling them to kiss me on the neck. If they don't, then I'm like, I punish them and I remove my attention. I do all this stuff to escalate it quickly, right? Because I have a purpose. And what's the purpose behind my date? A lot of guys, when they go out, their purpose is just to like lap in the fact that they're receiving some kind of female attention and some kind of female validation. That's not good enough because that is fucking dry panties to these women. That is a beta tell, right? So what's my purpose when I go on these dates? Well, my purpose is to escalate it as high physically as possible and to try to get the close within, you know, an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, right? I don't want the date going longer than 4 hours. I want to be back in my place and doing business before then. So I'm moving with a purpose and I'm moving with some intensity. Now, again, like I talked about though, this is not intensity to the point where I'm like trying to fucking smash face and make out with her right then and there, of like going in too far for the kill because Corey said, oh, I got to move intense. You still got to be smooth. Like I talked about, you know, earlier with the gym. I'm being intense by going up to these machines. I'm talking to someone. Hey, you know, how many sets do you have left? Do you mind if I work in real quick? Instead of just walking over there, ripping them out of the fucking seat and fucking taking my turn, right? There's a difference. But regardless, what I'm constantly trying to do is I'm constantly trying to shape the environment to what I want my outcome to be. My purpose, right? And I'm going to do it in an intense way to mean like, I guess the best way is a lot of people confuse intense with aggressive. Okay? I can be intense without being aggressive. Just from my disposition, just from my demeanor, and just from kind of like putting forth like even stating my outcome. That's intense. Because how many people do you guys know that really ever state their outcome? Most people expect it, or they in a way passive aggressively, or even worse, covertly, like a covert contract, like you'd read about No More Mr. Nice Guy. That's what a lot of people are doing. So the difference with me is I hold myself in a different manner. I move with a purpose. My purpose is getting this outcome. I state my outcome in a way, in a not passive, but in a more easy to swallow manner that makes things a little bit more like, hey, we're agreeing on this, rather than it just being me coming in with a fucking club and batting you over the head and taking you back to the cave. You know what I'm saying? And I want you guys to really start to apply this to your dating life, is moving with a purpose and adding some intensity to it. You would much rather look back at the date and say, this is me at least, but I know from experience that I would much rather look back at the date and have gotten rejected, because I do get rejected, guys. This isn't 100%. There's some girls that are like, hey, listen, I'm not looking for this. I'm not interested in having one night stands. I'm definitely not interested in hooking up on the first night or whatever. And I'm just like, okay, cool. But I shot my shot. You know what I'm saying? Every fucking date, I shoot my shot. Every date, no matter what. And I try to get there in a roundabout way, because in a way, I'm saving her time. I'm saving me time. I'm saving her energy. I'm saving me energy. Plain and simple. Question from Angelo. Corey, can you give advice on how to apply confidence on the BJJ mats to the real world? Have a friend that's starting his red pill journey and could use another point of view. Confident on the mats, but beta off. Ooh, that's a loaded one. I'd probably need a little bit more information to kind of hear more about him. It sounds like he's starting his red pill journey and starting to have the doors open. The first two things I would recommend to him, obviously start off reading No More Mr. Nice Guy. Second thing, reading The Rational Male. Those two things usually start, like, from what I noticed, No More Mr. Nice Guy starts to crack open the door. And then, The Rational Male really just kind of like pours it on and lets people know, like, this is the state of what's going on. The other thing is that individual needs to start consuming this kind of content. Us red pill dudes, sometimes we can become kind of preachy and, kind of like become disciples and stuff like this. And we're like, like, you need to watch this. You need to do all this other stuff. The best way to really help out a dude is to ask them, like, where they're unhappy. And that's even a hard question for people. Like, so the best thing is to say, like, what results are you looking for and what results are you getting? And then just be critical. When, like, if they're open enough to share that, be like, hey, I hate asking this question, but, sometimes it's pretty good. Like, would you like to receive some feedback? If someone's like, yeah, sure, I'd love some feedback. Go in on them. Like, hey, dude, like, here's the thing is, like, you're not moving with a purpose. You're not intense. You're kind of like too much of a nice guy when it comes to all this stuff. And, like what's stopping you? The question is, like, what's stopping you from being that aggressive in your day-to-day life? In order to get the results you're looking for. Because when you're on the mat, like, you're looking for that fucking triangle, or you're looking for that sweep, or you're looking for that arm bar, and you fucking rip it. You grab it and you rip it and you go. But everywhere else, you don't apply the same analogy to it. Like, what's going on here? Like, why? And believe it or not, the majority of people are going to answer the question. Well, they're going to say, I don't know. But the reality is they don't want to be known as that person off the mats, right? Because that's why people do BJJ, right? It's because, like, they want to take a part of them that they've been kind of like holding on to, and then they want to take it out. Like, that's my safe zone to dump it all out. You know what I mean? Whereas it's more so like an allegory for life. That's one thing I learned through BJJ. To just fucking grip it and rip it when you fucking get out there. So, man, the other thing too is I do personal consultations. So if this is someone who would be interested in their own personal growth, and listen, I'm only interested in people that are interested and willing to invest in their own personal growth. Too many people from my past have come to me to solicit advice, and when they don't pay a fucking dime for it, guess what? They don't use it. The other thing is, if you're coming to me and you don't really care about fucking growing, I don't want to spend time with you. So that's another thing that I would say is, obviously you're coming to me, Angelo, and you're asking me these questions. You obviously look at me as some person that can kind of correlate and compare to the situation he's in. Feel free to send him my way. Obviously you can email me at a God of Men, but I'd much prefer anybody to go to my Twitter at Corey Capella and DM me on Twitter or DM me on Instagram. Twitter's better, but those are 3 locations that you could have them DM me at and watch my shite and all that other stuff. Anyway, gentlemen, yeah, it's 5:00 now. I need to get ready because I got to go to jiu-jitsu here at 6 and Muay Thai right after. Then a date right after that. So I got to get my shit together and put my clothes in the dryer. So with that said, John Fitch and I will be live at 9:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time with Red Pill Smash Bros. And then following that, I will be live with Modern Life John, Modern Life Dating. Go to his channel right now and subscribe to get the notifications. And you'll see us live at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We will go over how Hot Dude Con went and some of the stories that occurred. So, with that said, gentlemen, you go slay it tonight. It's Friday night. If you're sitting at home with your fucking pecker in your hand, you're wrong. You're being a little bitch, okay? That's just me being honest with you. Go fucking rock and roll it. Go hit on some bitches or swipe. Swipe, 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 swipe. And fucking holler at bitches, all right? Anyway, I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow.